everybody, it's Joe, and I think we're too far from the camera. What do you think? So we're just going to pull it on again so y'all can see both of us. I am so excited to be here in Charlotte today, and I am with one of a dynamic duo called 2moms.1mission. And this is Shana. She just told me. She just said, no, Joe, it's not Shana, it's Shana. And there I did it. And she is one half of them. Lisa Andres is the other half of it. And she is home holding down the fort. They are agents in Asheville, North Carolina. So if you have any referrals that need to go to Asheville, the 2moms.1mission tag, they are quite a team. I originally met Lisa probably last year when I was in there in Asheville doing some training. And she is just like this powerhouse. And I was just in awe of your team. So there's several things that we're going to be talking about. First, I want to be talking about the team and how they formed the team and why they formed the team. And then they developed this really strong voice. And that's the other thing I want to be talking about is that voice, how they live that voice, how they develop that voice, and how they get customers using that voice. All right, you good?
I'm ready.
All right, so let's start with the team.
Okay.
So here's my first question. Did you and Lisa come in together into the real estate world?
We did not. I came in 2013. She came in 2015.
Okay. And so y'all just met?
Yes, we were placed in the opportunity to work in a new development.
Okay.
And there was 4 agents. Lisa and I were 2. There were 2 others.
Okay.
And right off the bat, Lisa and I clicked.
Right.
And we had similar work ethics. We had similar values. Her strengths were my weaknesses. My strengths were her weaknesses. So we just totally meshed.
Okay.
And I think that's a huge part of why we work is because we're similar values. The core part of us is similar. It's all about the people.
Right.
And then 2 is our work ethic. It's matched.
Yeah. So here is a really good learning point. I mean, a super good learning point. And that is when I see people all the time decide to form a team with another person. You have to be different. You can't be the same, or you are all doing the same things, but you have to have the same value system.
Right. You have 2 different things.
Yeah.
We same on that, but make sure you're different on the work.
Yeah, and people don't realize that when you join with somebody who's a lot like you, 1 + 1 is equal 1 1/2. It's not equaling 3, which is what a partnership is supposed to do. Is you're supposed to be working independently, but still same value system. So y'all formed a team. How long ago?
We did that last summer. It really.
Oh, it's new.
Yeah, this is just
not this summer, but the summer before, right?
We're in 2017.
We're in 2017.
2016.
2016.
So we started in that development in May, and we really formed June, July, August, September is when we really were like team.
Okay.
Come November, that's when the social media, like, okay, if we're going to be serious about this, this is when this started.
Got it.
So it's, this is a year.
So did you leave the new home neighborhood world and then start into general brokerage? Or do you still do that?
No, we're no longer at the development. We're no longer with that firm. It was time to do what we thought best for us at the time. And
all right. Cool.
Yeah.
And so tell me about the team. Do you do X and she does Y? Is that the way it works? Like y'all have different responsibilities? Is one of you the big prospector and one of you the big implementer? How do you kind of divide yourselves up?
It's not a clear line because we want to make sure what we are doing, that if I'm not good at that, I want to become good at that. So I want to get Lisa's knowledge to make sure that I'm getting better at that.
Right.
So we can help each other. I can say Lisa doesn't, I'm from Asheville, so I know the area more. So I'm typically, I work with probably more buyers. She's not a fan of driving around. She doesn't know the area like I do.
Right.
So she is super strong on listings. She knows when she goes in, okay, HVAC, water heater, roof, and she's looking for problems that we can attack before. The lizard. Attack
kill the lizard.
Kill the lizard. We talk about it all the time. Yes, we kill the lizard before it becomes an issue. Before on the flip side, when she comes with the buyer, she's able to do the same thing. I can say, buyers, okay, look, this needs to be this, and mindful of that.
So just for y'all to get a little flavor of Lisa, since she's not here, Lisa is an ex-veteran.
Coast Guard.
And she is a can-do girl. And when you go on their website or their Facebook, you'll see her going, oh, new listing needs to have a blown-off driveway. And there she is out there in her heels with the blower and blowing it off. She is just if a job needs to be done. And that's kind of the essence of who you are, isn't it? So how did y'all come to this voice of, and it's a voice, it's a brand, however you want to call it, the 2 Moms, 1 Mission. How did you get to that?
So it was about November or December when we were starting to, partnerships new.
Right.
Where do we go from here? We're thinking about leaving the firm. Okay, what firm is going to better represent us in this newness? So it was like new. So we went to Barnes & Noble. I had my little Jetster, my 1-year-old, with us, and I was like, okay, I've got the kiddos, but we're going to make this work. So where do we go that he can be satisfied and we can be satisfied to have our first business plan meeting?
Cool.
So we sat there, and I knew right off the bat, knowing social media, knowing this is what I grew up in, we have to distinguish ourselves in an overly crowded industry. How do we, not Shana Realtor or Shana Brookshire or Lisa Andre's team, we needed something that caught eyes in a different light, but also let everyone know that we're using real estate as a platform. So we jotted all these names down, some crazy names. I don't remember them all, but I know there were some crazy ones in there. And
do you remember any of them?
I do remember some, but I'm not going to mention it because I'm like, what were we thinking, even putting that on the list? So we went and got sushi for lunch. I'm like, man, we don't have a name. We don't have a name. What are we going to do? So we went home that night, praying, we've got to find a name, a cool name. The next morning, I woke up, and I remember exactly where I was driving. I looked at my husband. I said, 2 Moms, 1 Mission. Ironically, this was on our list that we threw out.
Was it?
I called Lisa.
You thrown it out?
We thrown it. We're like, I called Lisa. I said, 2 Moms, 1 Mission. It's strong. It defines us. We're mothers. But we're using real estate as a platform to contribute, give back, and help these people in a real estate transaction.
Right.
So I called her, and she's like, how is this on the list? And we didn't use it. And I'm like, I don't know, but this is it. So I created the Instagram account immediately.
Wow.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Right.
So all of that.
So there's a couple of points here.
I need to use it more.
That's okay. That's right. So there's a couple of points here I want to dig into. First off, she was right. You have to differentiate yourself. I mean, the noise out there is incredible, and it's getting noisier and noisier. And many of you have heard me talk about the ceiling fan and the idea that when you go to buy a white ceiling fan, they're all flying around. And if you can't tell the difference between one white ceiling fan and another, you purchase on price. Same thing happens with real estate agents. If you can't tell the difference between that one and that one and that one, you're going to go shopping on commission, or you're going to go shopping on the person who gives you the highest purchase price. Bad. We don't want to do that. And so differentiating yourselves.
What is your value that you're bringing to the table?
Right. So here's the other thing I loved from that story is it didn't matter that she had 2 children and needed to do a business meeting. She found a way. And that's one of the things that I've noticed when I've gone through your websites and your Facebook feeds and all of those things. Y'all find a way. In fact, my very favorite post they've ever done, and I think it was you had gone to show a house, and you didn't have time to drop the kids off. And here she is doing, I can't remember if it was Facebook Live or if it was a snapshot, doesn't matter. And there, you did one, and you could see the baby in the background, and she said, okay, here, open up a house before showing. Baby just had a blowout. Got nothing but a Chick-fil-A napkin, but I'm making it work.
We made it work. What you see on there is authentic and real and honest. That's who we are. That's our values. So you're going to get that on our social media, but that's what you're getting from our services. Right. So yes, little Jetster, napkin, no wipes. Mama spit, made it work. As Lisa said, it's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness.
Oh.
So that's Lisa's. She's told me that.
Girl.
my partner.
I love that. Okay, we've got to make that work. We've got to talk about that. It's not a lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness.
Yes.
That you can put on a pillow.
Yes.
I mean, that's good. That's really, really good.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And so that's how the brand kind of started. And what's really also interesting about y'all's brand is that y'all are both girly, right? Would you agree? I mean, y'all always look pretty. I saw a picture of you the other day under a house with your feet sticking out, and there were was that Lisa? And there were stilettos sticking out from under.
Well, I'll be honest. When we have to be pretty, we're pretty.
Okay.
But when we have to be dirty, you will see us in sweats, hair in a bun, and we're going to work. There's too much. There's two of us.
I've seen y'all pretty doing hard work.
Oh, we will do hard work in the hills and all.
Yeah, I've seen you pretty doing hard work.
Yes.
And so the 2 Moms 1 Mission, I think it really does talk about who y'all are, but that y'all are on a mission. And that really, to me, is what encapsulates y'all, is you're on a mission. You're on a mission. So tell me about the mission. How would you define the mission?
Our mission is to use our passion for real estate as a platform,
right?
To give back, to contribute, to help, all by using real estate, because you're linked to these people.
You're linked to these people.
You're linked. And a lot of people get wrapped up with how much money and what's the volume and all that kind of thing. That is important. Obviously, this is our career, and that's the business part of that. But I think our value of it's so much more about the people and the stories. I mean, between losing a spouse and going to foreclosure, can we be an advocate and sell this house quick so she makes something and doesn't lose her house? The divorcees. I mean, raising single families that one's gone. How can we help them? And not only just real estate, but do whatever we can to really hone in on the people. That's what it's about.
It's not about brick and mortar.
Right.
It's not about brick and mortar. It's about people.
So little is about that house, and so much more is about the people. Upsizing for a new family and the excitement, or the lows we lost a spouse, and now we've got to get her out of a foreclosure situation.
Well, nobody ever sells a house because they just woke up one morning going, "Hey, let's buy a house." There's something that's the catalyst.
Their story has led them to this situation.
I've told this story a couple of times, but I spent a period of time with 1 foot in real estate, 1 foot out of real estate, always going, I think I need to go get a job. And then a big deal would come along, ooh, I love that. I kept doing back and forth. And then I had this woman who I hated. She was a customer that I hated. And she, just because she screamed, she was a screamer. She screamed at you. She didn't have a normal voice. But at closing, she reached over and put her hand on me, and she said, our professions are a lot alike. And I said, how so? And she said, well, I'm a labor and delivery nurse, and you and I get to be characters in the story of people's lives. And I remember that was the day my book came out. That was the day that happened, right? Because I realized this is not about brick and mortar. This is about the people and their story, right? So how do you get that message out as a prospecting tool?
Social media. I mean, it's always a mix of personal plus the house, because obviously when you're going online, if you talk anything about real estate, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a house, or a feature of a house. That's obvious. That's what every agent is going to post. But how do we mix in our personal life? Because obviously we don't want to talk about our clients, but how can we be truthful enough on our experiences? So if that's what you're seeing in the realness on that, to transparent that over to their situations, knowing that we're going to care for them just the same as what we're showing in our personal life. So really, it has been word of mouth, because that's important in this job, as you know.
It's incredibly important.
You can do one thing wrong, and 10 people know and not use you that could have used you, and then you can do awesome, and then 10 people call you. So, for one situation, we went in, it's been on the market and this is several times that we took a FISBO or a home that's been on the market for 6 months, and I'm thankful for the opportunities to get this second chance to people start to lose hope.
They do.
So we took a house, been on the market for 6 months. Their agent, just wasn't doing a lot, as they said. We went in, the house was very choppy, and what can we do to make this a little different because you can't change the rooms. It's choppy. We painted the yellow living room a soft gray, and we staged the living room, the front entrance, the den, and the master. Loaded our husband's trucks up. This is what we did.
Remember the mission.
The first week we had an open house. The first Sunday we hit the market on a Thursday or Friday. That Sunday we had an open house. A buyer from the open house bought the house. Now you know this is like out the door. Yeah, this is like when does this happen? But a neighbor had been watching this community for 5 years. They've seen it when it was yellow, but when they came in and it was staged and it had presence, because now the choppiness is not so choppy. Right. I can see myself in the living room sitting on the couch. And it's not yellow. Yes. So that led to our $1.5 million listing. That one resource, that one seller knew a doctor, and wow. But he said you put in effort. Before he even hit the market, he seen that we put in effort to paint and to stage. If it worked, great. If it didn't, he saw the effort.
The effort. So that's kind of y'all's voice, is that we will get it done. We will get it done.
Well, we're there to sell a house.
Right.
So if it takes what we think, and we thought then it needed to be a soft gray and we needed to stage the heck out of this,
right.
That's what we did.
Right.
Because that's what we thought as a professional that it
needed to have happen. So out of curiosity, what have you learned in the last year and plus? Because you've been at this about a year in this team. So what have you learned about being a team, and what have you learned about just real estate and marketing yourself out there?
Social media is huge.
Yeah.
You have, I think, people who's on the fence about this, if you're wanting to be the best agent that you can possibly be, but yet you're not wanting to venture into this, then you've already kicked yourself. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
You stopped yourself from being what you're saying you want to be because you don't want to venture because it's changed. But what we just heard, 42% of millennials are the buyers, and they're going to turn into the sellers.
Right.
They expect internet. They expect quickness.
They do.
So you're missing out on
We're at a conference in Charlotte.
You're missing out on the majority if you're not doing this. So
can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Because I coach a lot of agents, and I don't like Facebook. Well, I don't like it either sometimes, right? I'll tell a story on myself. I had this dog that was 17 years old, and she had this little group of medicine she had to take every night. And I would lay out her medicine, and I would lay out my vitamins, and I was going around doing things. And all of a sudden, I went back to give her pills, and I realized I had taken her pills, and only the vitamins are left, right? And so I just told my husband, I'm like, I can't believe I did this. Calculate weight of dog versus weight of me. It's fine. But the next day, it came out on social media. He put it out on social media. And I walk into a class and someone barks at me, right? And so I felt myself go, about Facebook, right? About Facebook. But the reality is, I have found, and I'm going to see if you have too, the more authentic you are, the more people like you and like what you stand for. They're not wanting perfection. They're wanting you. They're wanting real. And so for somebody who's not on Facebook and for somebody who's struggling with it, do you have any kind of, for lack of a better word, rule for houses versus personal versus, or you just do it instinctually?
Well, the first thing I would say, which would apply to anything that all of us ever do, but in social media, you have got to be consistent. You cannot, this week and then 5 weeks later, you have got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Because people will totally lose interest and forget you're there, and then all of a sudden, if you wanted to use this and utilize it to make a business and get people to know who you are, you got to be consistent. And
you really don't have much of a choice these days. You've got to get in.
You've got to get in. There's no yes or no. If you want to be as successful as you can, you've got to get in.
Right.
My rule, it's very strategic.
Good. Yeah.
So I need to. This is like, what's going on here? I'm like, okay, it takes a while. I put a lot of thought into it. I always go back to look at on Instagram. You can feed straight to Facebook.
Right.
So when you're looking at your Instagram, you see all your blocks really quick. All your posts. I'm like, okay, this day I did a quote because we're all about motivating. Lisa's a very she's such a motivator. She has helped me so much.
She's a motivator.
She's a motivator.
She is.
So okay, that's what we did that day. And then the next day, I made them laugh because Jet had a blowout.
Right.
This day, here's our brand new listing, and then I try to the
Is it daily?
People daily.
Okay. Perfect.
Sometimes I might skip a day because it's a crazy day, and I have a time that I like to post because of high activity.
Okay, what time's your lunch?
It depends on the market that you're trying to get. In Asheville, I've noticed between 8:30 to 11:30 in the morning gets me the most activity. If you're trying
and I find first thing in the morning is better than mid-morning.
Right.
Right, so it's depending on, is the reason I'm saying that because it depends on it.
And it also depends on the hashtags, because if you're hashtagging, let's say, Naples, Florida, which Asheville has a lot of people coming from Florida, if you're trying to get their attention, there's a time and day that's better for them. So if you have one post that you're trying to accommodate and get people from there to see, research to see what time of day most Florida people are on. I mean, this stuff's out there, people.
Yeah.
You just have to utilize it all into a plan. So
does that mean you post multiple times a day, depending on who you want to get?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day.
Okay. So could you do? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They just said the average adult looks at their phone 150 times one day. That is today. In 2 or 3 years, when technology is even more, who knows what that's going to be? So if you post and they're looking at their phone 150 times a day, and they've seen you at breakfast, and then they're looking at lunch, and all the other times in between, then they've seen a different post.
Right.
You're out there.
You're out there.
And you will not have a chance. The moment somebody says real estate, if you're not on you're not going to have a chance.
There's a magic moment.
Yes.
And the magic moment is when somebody goes, I need to sell my house, or I need to buy my house. And are you the person that, it's a sign, they popped up.
Right.
Right? And that's how it works.
Yes.
That's how it works. So I just heard 3 kinds of posts: motivation, house, personal.
We also do a lot of before and after pictures.
I saw on your
just
thing.
Like the painting and staging. This past week we just got a house that's been on the market for 4 or 5 months.
And one was cluttered and another was clean and
that
pretty.
Was the MLS photo, cluttered. Lisa and I got in there.
That was the MLS photo?
That was the MLS photo. Again, such usable space.
It was. It was beautiful. The floors were beautiful.
But a lot of buyers' vision can't look past.
They can't.
Clutter. So we set up. We got in there, and
so y'all are honest with people.
We are straight to the point. And it just that couple, they were still listed. They called us, so we did not break any ethical. They reached out to us, and we told them this is what we would do. Okay. If you think you can do this, and your agent will help you, or you can find somebody, this may help. They still wanted to go with us, so we gave them that chance. It's not like, okay, we just want the business. We're here to help you. Whether that gets the business or not, you're still going to remember us because we gave you the truth. So that'll come back to us down the road. We're not worried about that.
One of the things that is kind of my mantra is you're not there to sell a house. You're there to help people make good decisions. You're there to be honest with them and to decide if you're the best for them and they're the best for you. I mean, that's what you're there to do, not to get the listing. So it sounds like that's kind of the attitude as we walk in. That's what we're here to do.
We're going to give you our honest opinion of what it is that we think. Right. Again, every agent has a different work ethic, and it's not that ours is right and theirs is wrong. It's just different. Right. And people mold to different ways. Right. So I think when we came in there and said, look, we will help you do this because that's what we do. Right. And we did.
That's what y'all do. That's the mission part of this 2 Moms, 1 Mission. Right?
Our mission, on the back of our t-shirts, it says, our work changes lives. Because
that's lovely.
Not just selling the house, obviously, that changes lives because then you're going somewhere. But how can we come in here and do things differently? Be personable and know that you can speak to me and I'm not going to say a word and that I'm a friend. I'm a genuine soul here to help you in this chapter of your life. Right. But it's all about getting you to that. Yeah, it's all about you. Yeah.
So one of the points is, and I've seen their T-shirts online. I've seen pictures of them, and it says state. It was the state of North Carolina, and it has 2 Moms, 1 Mission. And if you go out and look at their Facebook, which you should, It's 2moms with no space, dot 1mission with no space, right? So that's the way it looks. And they have 2moms, 1mission across the state of North Carolina, and then that slogan on the back. And, one of the things that's really important in the real estate business is to make your business share friendly, right? Is to make it easy for people to share it. And t-shirts are a really good way, right? T-shirts are a really good way of giving people t-shirts and doing those kind of things, because then they're out wearing them.
Then they're free advertising.
Yeah.
Free advertising.
Yeah.
And our little at symbol, if you notice, was in a house.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
I noticed.
Yes.
And y'all do go ahead.
Yeah, so if it's in a house and somebody, because, then you start to look at it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. And then, what's the 2moms' mission? What is your mission? What do you do? It just sparks conversation. And that's the first part. It's a relationship. That's what we're trying to do through social media, is build that relationship.
Right.
We're 2 moms on a mission, and this is what we're doing. This is our personal life.
Right.
This is the relationship.
So there's an internet guru out there that talks about building this relationship and how it's just like a relationship, any relationship, right? You and I standing here talking, we're building a relationship. And if I was too forward with you, right? If I was like, hey, right? Then you'd be going backing off. And it's the exact same thing in any relationship. You build a relationship. The trust factor. And what you're building is we're getting the job done. We serve people, and we're getting the job done. It's such a great voice. Now, I asked you the question about what I'm not sure that if I said what mistakes or what things have you done in the last year, you're like, okay, we probably shouldn't have done that. And I don't think we finished answering it, or I took you off in a different direction.
We're all over the place.
That's okay. That's a good conversation.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
So what have I learned, or
what have you learned? What have you learned?
As far as our brand or working as a team?
Well, let's start with team.
Okay. As a team, be 100% honest. Because if there's something that I did that's bothering Lisa, or Lisa did that's bothering me, we attack it. I don't like the way that happened. Let's do better. Because if you let that fester, then it's going to be a whole different situation.
Yeah.
And the good thing is Lisa and I are so close that we get each other.
Right.
So luckily it's not like an every week thing that we're like, we're so similar.
But you're both young mothers, you're both wives, y'all get that.
We're trying to balance it all. How do we balance being very successful businesswomen? Because we love to work. We've been working since we were very young, so we love to work. But how do we also balance personal time? Right. When do you kind of cut it off, and when you don't? Because, this job, there's no 10 o'clock and you leave at 5 and you're not thinking. Yeah. We go to bed thinking about our clients. We wake up thinking about our clients. So how do we balance all of that? But I think the first part, just be honest with each other. I mean, obviously that's who we are, but it's huge.
It's huge.
Partners can be quiet because they don't want to upset the other one, or so you want to be able to get that out.
That's a great tip.
Yes, get that out. Gosh, we've learned so much. We've done a lot of things that I wish we would have done differently as far as in a transaction, how we've learned from one thing to the other, such as, being in open houses with the house that we worked our butt off of, or dang, should we really have done that because it looked great, but maybe it didn't pay off the way we thought. We could have focused it on this part of the house.
Right.
So just balancing.
And that's one of the things, when y'all are as active with your clients as y'all are, that means you're spending a lot of energy, and as you become more successful, you're going to have to be fussier about where you spend your energy.
Right, and we are at that point right now. Right. A few months back, we were still trying to juggle it all. Right. But it's not where we are right now. Right. The busier you get, the more chaotic it's going to be.
I remember talking to Lisa, and she was doing something, painting a door for a client or something like that. And I remember going, all right, Lisa, you might be doing that now, but there's going to be a day when they're going to have to paint their own door, right? And as you grow, some of those decisions have to change.
Yes, and we've been told you're wasting your time, you're doing this.
That's y'all's value system.
For us to be recognized as a new brand, a new partnership, we had to do something to get the attention. Right. So we had to pressure wash a house in Biltmore Park. We did it strategically. We did it on a Sunday when people are out walking. And people were like, well, what the world? Thanks for doing it.
And y'all got a deal.
We got a deal. We met neighbors. I got their email contact. I mean,
yeah.
Strategic. So if you're
Leveraging.
yes.
Leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Leveraging.
Yes.
Yeah, because leverage is a huge deal.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll pull this all back together. Okay. New team. They really, very first thing went after their voice. They made sure that they were different and yet had the same value system. Y'all created your voice and you use that voice, encapsulate your voice by doing what you say you're going to be doing. And they work social media and they work it consistently and frequently. And then probably the thing I would say the most is that dang it, did you hate it when you lose a phone? And I just lost the phone. Okay, let's backtrack. I'm doing this on Facebook Live. Yes, I am. All right, so we were talking about, okay, oh, yes, maybe, is that y'all are authentic, totally authentic.
As Lisa says, I think it's a Tony Robbins quote, and I cannot remember the exact quote.
That's okay.
But whoever you are in front, you've got to be that behind doors. So what you see on our social media, we are not posting a cleared out room and saying we did this. We are literally, we're honest, we're authentic, and that's something that nobody can take away from us. That's who we are, and it's a huge part on us being recognized.
I got to tell you, you really need to go to their Facebook account because you can see it. You can see the authenticity as you go down.
Yay.
Because you can see, the mud on the boots with the coffee out doing stuff on a rainy day. You can see Lisa holding the blower. You can see y'all going and showing houses with children because that's the way you roll. Yeah.
It's hard, but we do the best that we can do in our circumstances. Our seasons of our lives right now, we're mothers.
Right.
I've got 2 toddlers. She's got a preteen and an 8-year-old. So that alone is hard to juggle. But we're doing the best we can. And if we know at night that we did the best we can with no sitter, a sick child, we still we got the job done, and they were with us, then
okay.
We can sleep.
So one more time on the Lisa quote about obstacles. About the resources. One more time. So
one more time. It's never a lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness.
Because that is a huge barrier to most agents, is that.
You've got the stuff out there.
You got
to do it.
You got the stuff. They're doing it with a bunch of children. And
we're putting barnwood walls up.
Yeah, they're an inspiration. Yay. Thank you.
Yay!
I'm so happy to be this. And so, make sure, watch out for them because go to their website because it will just give you a breath of fresh air. Yay. Bye, guys.